All right, let's just get right into it. Obviously, the Detroit Lions have signed David Montgomery, the running back from the Chicago Bears, 3 years, 18 million. It's a pretty big haul. Obviously, people know David Montgomery from his Chicago days. David Montgomery probably ran behind one of the worst offense lines and nearly averaged 4 yards a carry, which is absolutely unbelievable. Because Chicago's offensive line, they can't protect nothing. Like it, I'm pretty sure my 85-year-old grandma can get by them on a run block. It's just they're not that good. When you have a great offensive line like the Detroit Lions do, you can do whatever you want with the running back position. You can plug and play guys. You don't have to spend heavy. They really didn't spend heavy. $6 million a year. It's not really that much. Like in the grand scheme of things, I mean, like yeah, you're spending a lot of money on a running back, 6 million. But I want to see how it's really broken down. That's what I really want to see. In the moment, 6 million isn't great, but then again, I want to see how the contract is broken down. That's really what matters. Um, of course, Jamal Williams is a loss in the locker room. It's a loss in leadership. But this is where good teams really come into fruition. Okay, like you are going to lose players that are leaders in the locker room. It just happens in a free agent world where money and the cap keep going up. You're going to lose those guys. Um, there's usually a nucleus of players that are the leaders. You look on the offense, it's Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell. You look on the defense, Hutch, Tracy Walker, um, Alex Anzalone, you could say. There's a lot of players that are leaders on the team, okay? It's not just one player. So get that out of your head. I told you yesterday, building a sustainable winner doesn't just happen on a player by player basis. What I mean by that is when you specifically build around a player, okay? You're going to lose players no matter what. It's how much you keep it going after some of those players are gone. I gave you the example yesterday of the Michigan State Spartans basketball team. Tom Izzo, 25 straight NCAA tourney appearances. He's lost a lot of players in the time, and a lot of players have came in, and it's all remained the same. The core of that program is Tom Izzo. What we're gonna see with Jamal Williams being gone is what is the core of the Detroit Lions. Because I could tell you right now, if the core of the Detroit Lions was Jamal Williams, you'd be in a lot of trouble. You totally would be in a lot of trouble. That's not your core. Your core is the team that you've built, the leadership that you've built in the 2 years that Dan Campbell's been there. And let's be honest, if you thought that a running back was going to be the core piece of your team, you're you're blatantly just, I don't know what you're smoking weed, smoking crack. I don't know. You're doing something because it's very rare that you get a running back who's a leader like Jamal Williams was. I mean, if we be honest, like Jamal Williams was a great leader. There's no doubt about it. But he can't be the leader on a year by year basis. I mean, if you're looking at a sustainable winner, eventually Jamal Williams was going to go by the wayside. From all intensive like reports and everything, I read something where they were far apart in a deal. So this is what made Brad Holmes go out and get David Montgomery. And listen, respect the Brad Holmes because he understood that maybe the writing was on the wall that Jamal Williams was not coming back. Like we said in the podcast today, maybe he saw that Jamal Williams wasn't coming back and he said, I have to go get someone. And one of the things that Ben Johnson has talked about is his running backs getting more yards on broken tackles. One of the things that David Montgomery does extremely well, I'll read this. This is from, I think it's Brett. It's Brett Whitefield. Per fantasy points data, David Montgomery was tied for the highest forced missed tackle rate among all backs with 125 plus carries. Tied with Nick Chubb. Tied with Nick Chubb. Can you imagine what he's going to do behind this offensive line? Can you only imagine what he will do behind this offensive line? I mean, there are people on the streets that could probably gain a yard with this offensive line. That's how dominant they are. They are an elite offensive line. You built a team that is elite on the offensive line for a reason. You got a running back who had the most missed tackle rate with a bad offensive line. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks losing Jamal. It does. But this is a total win for the Detroit Lions. Getting a running back who is this skilled behind an offensive line, he's going to step behind. It's going to be one of the best in the NFL. It's a win-win. And Brad Holmes gets another star because there's a lot of general managers that would have just sat there and waited for Jamal Williams to sign, and then you're stuck with a guy like a broken down running back. And Brad Holmes didn't make that happen. He went out there and he got the best available running back, and he signed him to a cheap, friendly deal. In my opinion, I don't think 6 mil a year is entirely a lot for what David Montgomery could do. He's only 26. He'll be 26 by the season. So this is a good win in my book. Yeah, it sucks losing Jamal, but it's going to happen eventually. You're going to lose players and you're going to gain players, and that's exactly how this thing goes. So I think it's a great signing. What do you think below? Let me know in the comments below.